Alright, hi there! This is, of course, the great and glorious, soon to be famous one day, Nick Dutch, back on the camera again one more time for another delightful tarot reading show. That's right, on this one particular YouTube channel, I do tarot readings, okay? It's amazing the way the show has developed and the way that it's, really become, because this is becoming like almost like a miniature internet institution, which I think is absolutely fantastic. So all you people out there who are supporting the show through viewing, rating, commenting, subscribing, doing all these wonderful things, carry on doing so. Okay, provide links on your website to the channel and all the rest of that, because that's what I like to see, that's what other people like to see, and this is becoming really rather big, and I'm really excited about that and where this is actually going. Now, the star on of this show is not necessarily just me. Okay, I might be the one doing the work, but essentially it's you who's submitting the request to me via the email address nickdutchtarot@gmail.com. That's nickdutchtarot, all one word, all lowercase, @gmail.com. And what you do is you submit your request through, including ideally your first name and your date of birth, and a bit of basic background, not too long, okay, don't send me War and Peace, and then of course your question. And I will try and fit you into the show. I can't always do everyone, but just submit your questions because it's free, alright? This is the only time and the only place where I will ever give away free tarot readings, alright? Because I do this for a living, this is my job, so I'm sure you can probably tell, yes, I am doing these videos for commercial purposes. I would like to attract you to get on the phone with me, whether you see me on this website or that website. Whenever you see the name Nick Dutch, then you know you're going to get a person who is of good quality, who can provide you with what you're after. Now, for the USA client base, I'm available in the mornings your time, most days, okay, Monday to Friday, during the weekends as well, okay, usually. And so I'm the person that you contact when you're having your first cup of coffee of the day, when you're preparing to start the day and get, really motivated and energized to go to work and have that conversation with the boss, or get on the phone and talk to your boyfriend and or girlfriend or whatever, and try and sort out the problems that you've got and make sure that you get what you want from your life with the right state of mind and the right way of thinking. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. I've got quite a few requests out there on the email address nickdutchtarot@gmail.com. What I'm going to do now is without further ado, just get out there and start doing some readings. Hello, Mindy. I think you've got the name Q on the internet. You got like a lot of things going on there. Let's have a quick look and see what the cards say. I'm going to shuffle very thoroughly. Whenever you don't see my hands and the cards aren't down, I'm normally giving the cards a nice thorough shuffle. Right, so essentially you want to know about your career, you want to know about your family life, and all sorts of things. Alright, let's have a quick look. Okay, as far as your career is concerned, I sense this as being very people focused. I think you're very good at dealing with people and helping people to get a bit of sufficient clarity to be able to do something which is quite commonsensical, but which they might have forgotten how to do. Okay, like emotionally and intellectually for your day-to-day work. There's a sense of something of a creative nature coming through here. Let me just try and explain that to you. There's being in control, and also because the cards are reversed, I think in this particular case it's giving other people control or giving them control back. So there could be a healing component here, there could be a therapeutic component, but I think you're using healing or therapeutic mindsets in a regular day-to-day job. Okay, the Fool can speak about an almost childlike state of happiness, which is what I think you'll be getting from the work. Okay, this strikes me as being a bit of a step change somehow, because I don't feel that you're there right now. I don't feel that you're currently in a position whereby you're stable financially, you're happy, or you're using your skills to the best of your ability because you're being held back. The signs for the past, there we go. The inverted pentagram of the Five of Swords, which in this particular case is not coming out very positively. And I think that's the story of where you were, or where, just overlapping with where you are. It's not feeling very evolved. It's almost like, you can see that there could be a future out there. You're looking forward, you're very forward thinking anyway. But you're not quite there yet, so essentially, how good or how happy can you be at the moment about your long-term future? Well, your future's going to come, and when it does come, you won't be the same person, okay? We all go through little rebirths every single day, and by the time you are in 2 years' time, you'll be a completely different person by then. So don't worry about that. there is a feeling of there being, you know, an almost celebratory atmosphere there, a feeling of pleasure. So we've got pleasure, an almost childlike state of happiness, giving other people control back. Okay, it's almost like the role in which you'll be involved in will be helping somebody else somehow. Okay, so you may be selling a service, but the service that you're selling is going to somehow give people some extra benefits there. Okay, now you did ask about whether you'd ever settle down and have a family. Well, I can't read upon that. I'm not legally allowed to read upon issues relating to pregnancy, medical matters, and childbirth, because I'm under legal regulation here. Okay. And I'm not going to break that, not for you, not for anybody. That's the way I have to roll, because that's the way it is. So I'm sorry about that, but as far as other members of your family, let's have a quick look and see basically what's coming on through there. I sense pressure. I sense pressure from them. I feel that there's something getting in the way there. There's a bit of a message of a strong female character who's basically got their own interpretation of what is right for you and is not really giving you the sort of like sense of freedom which you actually require. And I think they're concerned about your financial future, yes, but on the other hand, are they doing it in the right way? But I think that this is the time in your life when you've got to be able to turn around to people and say, sorry, I'm not doing it that way, I'm doing it my way because I've thought it through. Okay? And bring the control back into your life so you can bring control back into other people's lives. Hello, Zoe. You've got a confusing one with him, haven't you? Okay. Giving the cards a quick shuffle, see what kind of thoughts, feelings, moods, energies, and all the rest of that can come through. One thing I would suggest, if not for yourself, but for anyone else out there who's curious about this and needs a bit of extra help, I do actually offer a love letter writing service. Alright, this is part of what I sell on Keen.com. There's a button which you can go to on the Keen.com profile, and I'll be including a link to the Keen.com profile underneath this video. So go to that and have a quick look. Okay, there'll also be a link to all the other cool things I do, such as the email readings and the rest of it. But that's one possibility. Anyway, let's have a quick look and see what the reading says. Standard 8-card relationship reading. You know the pattern, you know the score, you've seen it before. Okay, that rhymes. I'm a poet and I didn't know it. Okay, here we go. Yeah, heavy, sluggish, slow, full of misunderstanding. He's not opening up. Okay, that's one of the problems there. He's not opening up, and he's defensive, and he wants to be in control. And it's a control which is like almost martially driven. He's like in conflict with you, so he's not really like freely flowing basically with the energy of the whole relationship between you and him. So that's actually a bad feeling, and it's being brought about by him basically not turning around and facing the music. So there is more responsibility which has seriously got to start developing on his side of the reading. Now your side of the reading, that's curious, okay? The way that you expressed yourself in your message was that there's almost something like really heavy, something really slowing you down here, which is not doing you all that much good because you want to get the progress. And so the confusion's really starting to set in. But the energy on your side of the reading is all about hope. Why would you have so many signs relating to new beginnings and hope? Now, so far the relationship has taught you an awful lot, and I think that's great. I think that's wonderful. And I do still see it as a relationship. Okay, you might not be seeing it that way because of everything that's happened, but the reading is still talking about it as if it is a real relationship which is happening in the here and now. So, you know, what's really going on there? Okay, it might be a question of slow progress. It might still be a question of, you know, being really rather heavy, being really rather difficult to deal with, okay? Like walking through syrup, or, you know, there's love there, but, you know, you're not really getting to where you want to go, so why would you still have inside you a feeling of optimism? Unless, of course, you can see something in this connection which he himself cannot, because he's basically put too much stress upon himself. And that's where a lot of the problems could be lying. Now, progression into the future. Bam, looking not too bad. If you're a good tarot reader, you always look at the colours and the way that the colours are basically affecting the message of the reading, okay? Short-term future, you know, you're still engaging. There's passion, so you're moving from these, like, you know, the dark green heaviness, okay, onto something which is more powerful, more passionate, more fiery, more communication orientated, more energetic, party atmosphere. Okay, you will engage with this individual within the next 3 months in a good social environment, and it will feel happy. Now, what I'm not doing is going to say that the whole prophecy of the longer term future is going to happen like in the next 7 days, because it's not. You're confused now, you won't be in 6 months' time, okay? This individual will still be around in your life in 6 months' time without the shadow of a doubt. The next 3 months is when you're basically undoing the damage on his side of the reading with all that's confused, like control, power, defensiveness type energy, alright? And you'll be starting to generate this kind of like happiness, clarity of thought, extra wisdom, extra love kind of thoughts, feelings, moods, energies, and all the rest of that coming into the whole connection between you and him. So you don't have to make up your mind today. Let it grow, let it develop. There will be communication opportunities. It's not over. Okay, one of your questions, Samantha, this is rather curious, because you've got some kind of ability there and you're using it, and you're developing the feeling that you actually made contact with dolphin energy, and I think that's wonderful. Okay, some people do actually manage to do that. You'll be surprised at how many people are making the claim of having some kind of connection to that kind of energy at the moment. Alright, I get that kind of thing happening on the phone. I've talked to people over the internet, and they also say that they are having experiences of dealing with beings which appear to be exhibiting that kind of energy. With all these strange experiences, I would have a certain degree of skepticism, but I'd also be open, because essentially these things can be pleasant, they can be interesting, and they can teach you something. So I'm not going to say don't have these experiences, but I would say be critical of them, but carry on trying to have them, because they can be enlightening and they can be fun. Now, as far as the reason for having dolphin experiences is concerned, different people say different things. I don't think that there is a particular precise rationale for it. I think that just enjoy it, okay? It could just be a symptom of yourself opening up. It could be symbolic of you connecting to another level of energy or another way of thinking. But just give it a go and just carry on having fun with it. Take it easy, enjoy it, and just see what you can learn from it, and also what you can learn from yourself through the process of having these experiences. Okay, Celine, now yours is curious, okay? You've been living in different states, you've travelled to him on a few occasions, you've been intimate, and you get some really good feelings from the relationship connection with him. This is obviously very positive. And we've just got to make sure that that's being reflected in the reading today, so that you can have some confidence that there could be something long-term and solid and stable for your future. Let's have a quick look and see basically what's coming on through here. Thoughts, feelings, moods, energies, and all the rest of that kind of jazz. You know my cliches, alright? What does it people say about cliches? Cliches are getting a bit too run-of-the-mill these days. Okay, 8-card relationship on this one particular connection. Thoroughly shuffled tarot deck. Here we go. Okay. You've got a bit of a swings and roundabouts type connection with this individual. I don't think that at this stage you can say anything about it. I'm going to be honest about that, okay? You're a genuine inquiry. This is a genuine inquiry. I'm not going to turn around to you and say it's going to be perfect this time next week. I really am not. It's interesting because the forces between the two of you, the one card which stands between the 2 cards on his side and the 2 cards on your side, that's this one here, okay? That one is talking about victory or the anticipation of victory, yes, but also that strong feeling of conflict. And that feeling of conflict is not necessarily a good thing right now for you, okay? Because, there's a feeling of stress, there's a feeling of anxiety there, but I wouldn't worry too much about that. His side of the reading, he's a bit confused as well. I think he wants more communication, he wants more contact. I don't think he can let go of you, but he doesn't quite know how to run this relationship. That's part of the issues there. So, you've got the same kind of energy on your side of things. I mean, if you think about it, the devil plus the Knight of Discs there, that's predominantly talking about a feeling of powerlessness, and also a sense of there being searching and connection and power and passion and potential for stability. And on his side of things, he's got, the 5 of Cups, which is not a very positive sign. But you've also got the Sun there, so you've got the same kind of message, 1 negative, 1 positive, basically. And you got, like, 1 negative and 1 positive. So the same kind of, I don't know, energy is still there. That's why we got conflict, lack of balance and equilibrium. You've both got to come to terms with the relationship itself. You've both got to be more proactive. More work's got to be done on your side of things. I'm sorry to have to tell you this, but you've got to be the one to court him. You've got to be the one to chase him for a little time, okay? because that's what's required. You want to have the longer term future, and the longer term future signs are good, you know, middle and longer term. Still some signs of sadness there. This to me, okay, this is what could be happening. The sadness is what could be happening if you're not proactive. You need to get more wisdom straight from the horse's mouth. In this particular spread, it just feels right to me that the mid-term future signs is the one that's actually representing the long-term future, and the long-term future signs is representing a hypothetical possibility, namely possible failure and sadness. I don't think you're going to have failure and sadness. I think you're going to have joy. I think there's good things here which you've got to work for. So it's still a fight, okay? It's still a conflict, but the anticipation of a result is still there. I think so. Okay, Carolyn, you've been going through hell, haven't you? I mean, you're one of my customers via the telephone. You sent through this request before. I didn't answer it before in the tarot show because we covered it on the phone. Alright, I didn't think it was right to go into it yet again, but you just still want me to see whether there's going to be success in this situation, because you know you've been doing this work for a while. You know you're good. The way the reading described it before is that you've got, you know, a bit of a political conflict going on with people in the workplace, and you just had to carry on fighting it. Are we going to get the same message coming through again? But just have to leave it up to the tarot to decide, really. It will be incredibly unlikely, purely from a cards and outcome position, for us to get the same kind of message coming out, but we're just going to have to see it again, basically, okay? Well, it's progress steadily in the right direction for you and for your character and your nature and what, like, the higher power itself wants for you, according to what the reading is suggesting. So in some ways you've got to be diplomatic, but there's also a sense of deliberately trying to create change. Now, to try and get, like, signs relating to transformation, which is brought about by your own willpower, and caution together, that's still the same kind of message of diplomacy, because you have to know who to talk to and when to talk to them. And also when basically not to talk as well. So essentially the feeling of balance there, it's going to be difficult to achieve, but it's definitely achievable. Okay, so I don't want you to lose hope, but I do want you to carry on being a good politician, I would say, when dealing with these people about this work as a dog handler. I don't think that this is all lost, though. There's just nothing in this reading which suggests it. Okay, Brenda, let's have a quick look and see what's happening with your relationship with Robert. Here we go. Just going to quickly do what my customers would do when they're on the phone with me and have my swig of caffeine. Remember, get on the phone if you want to go into these things in greater detail, okay? I can only go into these things to a certain degree and certain detail here on the tarot show. Everything else has to be done basically through, you know, internet chat readings, telephone readings, and so on and so forth. Okay, your relationship with Robert's not looking too bad. It really isn't. Now, you might be at a position in your life of thinking to yourself, oh, I don't know whether it is going to work out all right or not. But that appears to be on the basis of, like, small misunderstandings. And this is small misunderstandings, okay? There's a feeling of irritation on your side of things. A feeling of irritation, not necessarily a feeling of destruction. On his side of things, he's just not talking right, but that'll pass. Because his energy is that of victory, overcoming problems, communication, and being back together again. Forces between the two of you, overcoming communication blocks, okay? Overcoming communication blocks. Still going to require work on both sides of things, and that includes you, okay? You. But on the other hand, you know, it's doable, okay? Your long-term future signs, very loving, very passionate as well. Let's re-explain that. The universe talks of knowledge, okay? Sometimes it's a Saturnian variety of knowledge which comes out of problems. So you have problems, you learn from the mistakes, you learn from the problems which the universe has given you, and you start moving further forward. But following on from there, mid-term and long-term future signs, very different energy. Power, passion, connection. You both truly love each other anyway, so that's going to get better. But you've got to understand each other first. Allow the mistakes to happen, just like wash them under the carpet or wipe them under the carpet, whatever the phrase is, and move on. Forgiveness both ways can be essential, because if you want that to occur, okay, if you want that to occur, you've got to work for it, okay. But it's looking okay. You've got a future. You've got a relationship. You don't have to worry. You just need to be forgiving. Hello, Cat. Thank you very much for sending through that email. Having a different style of font, different coloured letters and all the rest of that was quite cheerful. And you know, it's spring and the sun shines out and the rest of it. And having just that extra bit of joy sent through to me on the email just like really helped make my morning. So that was cool. But let's have a quick look and see basically what's coming on through here for you as far as like, you know, does he really love you and how's things going to work out financially for you. Okay. Alright, well, I would say so, yeah. I mean, you've got very different mentalities. Very different mentalities. You look at life in very different ways, but you've somehow managed to find a way. You've found some areas of meeting, or some meeting points, some areas of agreement. The energy on his side of things suggests he's really struggled with his past. On your side of things, you feel alone with your responsibilities, but very happy to be in the connection in this particular case. And that's been explained because the one in the middle, okay, is talking about responsibility to try and achieve something and try and achieve something good. That makes me feel very positive indeed, without a shadow of a doubt. So essentially there's some good energy about this moving further forward. Despite the fact that there's been in the past some depressive energy on his side of things, maybe he's going to make that go away. I don't know whether he's going to go 50% raw or whatever it is he's going to do to try and give himself the extra energy and vitality that's required to overcome the depression of the past, because there was some depression there, okay? There's, you know, you're dealing with someone who was historically not a complete person. It has become more complete with the passage of time, but there's still been a few issues around there, so allow the progress to occur. Yeah, I would say that this is a love relationship. This is an individual who truly cares for you. Your final signs are great. You're still going to have a few rocky moments, but that's to be expected. Okay, that is to be expected, to have some conflict. But on the other hand, the Chariot doesn't just speak about conflict, it speaks about victory. Sometimes some forms of sword signs or sword cards can speak about conflict without victory. In this particular case, we got a feeling of conflict with victory. Alright, so it's moving from darkness to knowledge. You've been alone. I mean, signs on your side of things suggest that feeling of aloneness. You've been trying to keep yourself positive, but, you know, there's that feeling of aloneness. Alright? His side of the reading, feeling of darkness. That's where he was. So you both come out of bad places to reach a point whereby you're okay. You know, like, you both had a certain level of healing, so you could enter the relationship, then bam, something great is happening further on down the line, and that's where it's going to get really exciting for you. Okay, Jody, please don't forget, alright? I cannot make everything perfect for you. Alright? Also, whether you should wipe them out for good or whether you should hang on is not my decision. That's your decision, not mine. Don't take what I say as being something solid and concrete, ever. Because I am a tarot reader, I'm an entertainer, and that's the way that you should see this service. A tarot reading is an entertainment service and should be sold in that particular way, and that's basically what I do. It can be seen as a source of advice, but essentially you've got to make your own decisions too. What I can do is have a quick look at the relationship and see basically how it's going, because, you know, you've had a lot of difficulties. You explain that in great detail. Let's have a quick look. I don't see this as too bad. I think that you're very much in love there. The Ace of Cups, that's the one everyone's looking for. There is some Ace of Cups energy in this relationship somehow. It's there. It needs to be sought out. It needs to be uncovered. It needs to be encouraged. It needs to be made to happen. But you can do it. Okay? You can do it. I believe you can achieve this. You've been aware of interference. That's what's there. But there's also drive and passion to achieve something. His side of things, mainly love, but with some defensiveness, which I think happens from time to time. He will want to try and be in charge. Forgive him that. But try and build connection. Okay. Right, communication opportunities are going to abound. There will come a time in your midterm future, which is still 3 to 6 months down the line from now, where you'll be able to work out where you want to take this. I don't think that you're in a sufficient position right now to make up your mind either way, so you don't have to invest your heart in him if you don't want to. Take it easy. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. Allow it to develop. Okay, and now finally a reading for Kevin. who's running a small business which is involved in scrap metal, if my memory serves me correctly. Okay? And I'll be more than happy to do a reading for you today. And I think you know why. But let's have a quick look. Okay, you've got like lots of competition around you, there's people around you, or there's businesses around you that want to see you gone, and you want to make sure that you can carry on surviving and that you can carry on expanding the business as well. Now, considering like the way that some businesses work, it can be difficult. It's all a question of who you know, isn't it? It's all a question of who you know locally, who you network with, and how you go about doing that side of things, which might be important to you in the future. Okay? Who's got a need for what it is that you're providing? Well, let's have a quick look. Nice thorough bit of shuffling there. Let's see what the reading says. Chronological spread, focusing in on the concept of success, stability, prosperity, and more, basically. Let's have a quick look. Not looking too bad, but I think it's a question of slow progress. You've got stability at the moment. Expansion appears to be around the corner. The feeling of carrying on taking responsibility for a longer term goal is there. It's almost like a time when you'll be able to think, yes, we're finally moving in the right direction, will occur within 2 years. Not yet. Carry on studying the environment around you, that's going to be important. And carry on progressing, okay? The reading is talking about some form of healing or repair work to your condition in the here and now, to your financial situation. So don't worry about the negativity, okay? The negativity you're experiencing at the moment is temporary. Alright, the feeling of futility might be there, but the feeling of futility is a feeling. It's not an actual futility. You're still there, you're still surviving, you just need to make more contacts and more connections. That's what the reading is mainly suggesting. More contacts, more connections, provide more benefits, and seeing how you can take this market in a new direction with the passage of time. It's quite a happy reading. I think you enjoy the work that you've been doing. Okay, you've been doing it a while. I think that you can actually get somewhere with it. You will really go places. But it's more a question of using this time. We're all in a recession now, okay? During this time, get to know people, because then that capital of communication and knowledge with other people in business, in your local area, who are positive towards you, that's something which no one can physically take away from you, if you can carry on building that bond of trust. Okay? Okay, that's all the readings we're going to be doing for today. Don't forget, a tarot reading, psychic reading, clairvoyant reading, mediumship reading, and all the rest is legally billed as an entertainment service for good common sense reasons. If you want to submit your request to be included free of charge in the Tarot Show with Nick Dutch, which is the lesser internet institution, then feel free. The email address is nickdutchtarot@gmail.com. That's nickdutchtarot, all one word, all lowercase, at gmail.com. Do not submit your questions in the comment section. Feel free to comment, but don't submit your questions there, because, you know, it ain't going to do you no good. And don't submit your inquiries through by private message. I don't take them that way anymore, okay? I only take it through email, nickdutchtarot@gmail.com. And I will definitely look forward to dealing with your inquiries not too far down the line in the future. Keep cool, work hard, don't let the bed bugs bite, and all the rest of that kind of jazz. Speak to you in a while.